Elias inhabited his apartment not merely as a resident, but as a curator of silence. Each object, from the worn leather armchair by the window to the precisely stacked rows of books, was a testament to a deliberate ordering of his existence. The city outside, a vibrant, pulsing organism, was to Elias what a distant ocean might be to a seasoned cartographer, a fascinating entity to be studied, understood, and occasionally admired from afar, but never to be plunged into without careful preparation and a clear objective. His chosen solitude wasn't born of a misanthropic bent, nor a crippling social anxiety. It was rather the mature realization of a mind that found the constant negotiation of social dynamics to be an unnecessary expenditure of precious mental currency. He observed the typical human interaction with a detached, almost anthropological curiosity. The performance of agreement, the subtle jockeying for position, the relentless pursuit of validation, these were, to Elias, the background static of a society struggling to hear its own deeper truths. From a young age, Elias had possessed an almost prodigious capacity for focus. While other children chased fleeting friendships and playground dramas, Elias found solace and endless fascination in the intricate dance of ants in the garden, or the silent, complex narratives unfolding within the pages of a book. His intellect was a hungry beast, and the shallow ponds of everyday conversation offered little sustenance. He craved the deep, clear wells of philosophy, science, and art. This deep dive into the inner world and the accumulated wisdom of humanity wasn't an escape from life, but a more profound engagement with it. He believed that by understanding the fundamental principles that governed existence, from the celestial mechanics of the cosmos to the intricate workings of the human psyche, one could achieve a far more authentic and meaningful connection to the world. His terrifying intelligence, as some unkindly labeled it, stemmed from this very ability to see the underlying patterns, the grand design that eluded most. The journalist, Clara, arrived on a blustery autumn afternoon, her notebook clutched like a shield. She'd spent weeks trying to penetrate Elias's carefully constructed privacy, facing polite but firm refusals. Finally, a mutual acquaintance, a retired librarian who recognized Elias's intellectual hunger, had brokered this rare meeting. Clara was prepared for an eccentric, perhaps even a slightly mad genius. Elias greeted her with a quiet nod, his eyes the color of deep pools, holding a disarming sincerity. The apartment was surprisingly warm, filled with the scent of old paper and a subtle hint of brewing tea. There was no clutter, no disarray, but rather an organized abundance that spoke of a mind in complete command. "Thank you for agreeing to speak with me, Mr. Elias," Clara began, her voice betraying a slight tremor. "Your reputation precedes you. Some see you as a recluse, others as a hermit of sorts." Elias gestured to a comfortable armchair opposite his own. "Perception is a fascinating lens, isn't it? A recluse withdraws from the world. I find I engage with it more profoundly by stepping back from its immediate demands. As for hermit, it implies a certain penance. My solitude is a chosen state of grace." His voice was calm, resonant, devoid of the defensive edge she might have expected. "But surely," Clara ventured, emboldened by his gentle demeanor, "there's a fundamental human need for connection, for shared experiences, for love, for companionship." Elias poured 2 cups of tea, the steam curling upwards like ephemeral thoughts. The need for connection is undeniable, but the nature asterisk of that connection is what often disappoints. Most human interaction is a series of transactions, a delicate dance of self-interests masked by polite facades. It is a cacophony of superficial agreements and unspoken resentments. To seek genuine connection in such an environment is like searching for a rare orchid in a traffic jam. He offered her a cup. "My connections are different. I engage in deep, sustained conversations with Plato, with Newton, with Austin. I debate with Kant. I explore the cosmos with Sagan. These are not passive interactions. They are vigorous intellectual jousts, profound explorations that leave me enriched and invigorated. In this vast library of human thought, I find a companionship that is honest, challenging, and infinitely rewarding." Clara found herself leaning forward, captivated. Elias wasn't just intelligent. He possessed a profound wisdom, a clarity of vision that seemed to cut through the noise of everyday life. But what about the warmth of a shared laugh, the comfort of a hand held in a moment of grief, the simple joy of being truly seen by another? She asked, her journalistic skepticism warring with a growing sense of awe. These are the experiences that people often equate with a full life, Elias conceded. And for many they are. But there is also a profound beauty in the self-sufficiency of the spirit. The warmth of a shared laugh can be fleeting. The understanding of one's own emotional landscape is a constant companion. The comfort of a hand held can be replaced by the quiet strength derived from knowing one can weather any storm alone. And to be truly seen, my dear Clara, requires one to first see oneself. That is the most difficult and most rewarding form of perception. He looked out the window where the rain had momentarily subsided, revealing a sliver of pale sunlight. The terrifying intelligence you refer to is, I believe, the intelligence that recognizes the limitations of external validation. It's the intelligence that understands that true contentment doesn't reside in the approval of others, but in the quiet, steady hum of an inner life that is rich, ordered, and understood. It's terrifying to those who have built their identities on the shifting sands of public opinion, because it suggests an alternative, a path of profound self-reliance that requires no audience. He returned his gaze to Clara, a gentle challenge in his eyes. Imagine a person who doesn't need to perform, doesn't need to pretend, doesn't need to seek permission to be who they are. Imagine someone whose deepest satisfactions come from within. That is the promise of this path. It is not an easy one, nor is it for everyone. It requires a certain fortitude, a willingness to confront one's own shadows without the distraction of external drama. Clara left Elias's apartment with a sense of profound disorientation. The city, which had seemed so vibrant and alive just hours before, now felt somewhat hollow, its inhabitants caught in a ceaseless, often futile pursuit of external approval. She had come seeking to understand the eccentricities of a man who chose isolation, but she had found instead a vision of a life lived with an extraordinary degree of intentionality and self-possession. Elias wasn't a recluse. He was an explorer, charting the vast, uncharted territories of the human spirit, and his quiet intelligence was a beacon, albeit a slightly unsettling one, for those who dared to look beyond the familiar horizons of social convention.